I was actually referred by a friend. He just saw that I was very artistic and stuff like that. You know, when I got injured and stuff, I was on like a, went really depressed for a while and stuff there. And a friend just saw that I was in like a depressed state, and he said, "Have you heard about CreatiVets? They have an art program."
The veterans come, they tell their story to the songwriters then write their song and write a story for them to bring to the people that they maybe couldn't share that story with.
I'm 6'10", 300 pounds, so my dad's always called me the Oak. And that's kind of like where the song's going, is like, I felt like an oak in Iraq and Afghanistan and everything, but when I got injured and into a chair, it's like I felt like, my tree had fallen. I served my country, I served my fellow man. I'm just letting people know that even though I'm in a chair and not walking around tall and chest all out and everything, I could still serve a purpose.
I've always been very thankful of the military and what they do, but it has put a lot of things in perspective, and it has allowed me to realize that their job is so much harder than you actually think it is.
So the songwriting program has been super successful, and it's been one of the most sought after programs, because veterans know that their flights are paid for, their food's paid for, their hotel's paid for, and they get to just spend time with another combat veteran, and they're writing a song. This is all about teaching them how to remap the negative impact, like the negative thought, into a positive. So totally transferring that into something good. So that's what happens through the songwriting program.
It is so awesome what Richard has done and what he's created with CreatiVets to like change people's lives.
This is something that's really brought me out of my shell, and I hope the same for everyone else.
The other program is our art program, and we offer that now at the University of Southern California and the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And we enroll veterans, we pay for their flights, their food, their housing to the school, and then we also pay for their tuition. So we teach them how to do art, like as a curriculum.
You have the music, you have ceramics, you have graphic design. There's so many forms of art out there that a lot of these disabled veterans can connect to that.
Without this experience, for a lot of vets, they would be in a really lonely place, and he's bringing them to Nashville and giving them this experience that is just almost like eye-opening.
We had a girl on Facebook who wrote back to us saying, "You might not remember me," which we remember everybody. And she said, "But the day that you called me and told me that I was accepted to the songwriting program," I get emotional. I was writing my suicide letter. It's a huge need, and it's a way to get veterans who don't want help.
The underlying message of the whole thing is it's good to get it out. It's good to talk about it, because if you bottle it up, that's when it starts to eat at you. It starts to become like a virus, and it ruins people's lives.
We have so many partners who are ready, like other schools who want our programs, and we have so many veterans on the waiting list, and now we have some staff that can help. Problem is just the funding. That's our major issue right now. And to any veteran out there, just know that your story is important, and it's not only going to save you, it's going to save other veterans, because they're going to hear it and know they're not alone out there.
What's up, everybody? Anybody out there? Forget. What's up, buddy? So we are streaming live on Twitch, Mixer, YouTube. What am I missing? Facebook Live. We're on Instagram as well. If you're on Instagram, what's up? If you're on Instagram, it's a lot better to join our actual chat, our actual stream. It's on our website. If you go to creativets.org/live, you'll see a full listing. There's Garrett. Are we up on Twitch and everything else, Garrett? Got a bunch of people on Instagram. I don't know if this Twitch and everything else is up and running. Let's find out. Looks like it. All right. Well, again, if you're on Instagram, go to our website, creativets.org/live. I got a bunch of handouts. We're going to be talking about Nashville numbers and how to use Capo, which a lot of songwriters in Nashville don't even know what the number system is. So if you guys learn this, it's advanced, but it's not too difficult. So just hang in there, ask a lot of questions if you need to. Real quick, I just mentioned our website, creativets.org/live, and we've got all of our upcoming streaming schedule, and you can also watch past streams. So it's pretty cool. Got a lot of cool teachers, a lot of different content. We got, drawing and painting. We're gonna have a ukulele. Yuki. Let's just call it a Yuki. Yuki class on Friday. We got songwriting classes. Intro to comics. Is that tomorrow? Yeah, that's gonna be cool. 1 p.m. So tune back in and tell all your friends. So let's get to this. Last time, actually, first thing you do, if you're learning guitar, every time you pick up the guitar, tune it. So here we go. Top string is an E. I'm a little sharp, so I always tune down and then back up. I just don't go down to the note, down and back up. Next is A, good, D, G, B, and E. Close enough. We can pretend it's in tune. So last time, and if you're just joining us, you might have to rewatch the first stream if you are not familiar with the guitar, but I taught your first chords on guitar, and we taught in the key of G. So if you see on the screen there, I've got G, A minor, B minor, C add 9, D, and E minor 7. And those are actually in order the chords in the key of G. So every key starts with a major, then a minor, then a minor, then a major, then a major, then a minor. And there's actually something called a diminished, which we're not even going to worry about right now because we're all beginners here. Hello, Carolee, 15. How you doing? We're streaming on Twitch and Mixer and Facebook Live and obviously Instagram. So if you want to come over, go to creativets.org/live and join us on one of the other channels other than Instagram. You'll see all these documents I have up on the screen. So last time we talked about just a basic chord progression. We're going to do G, D, E minor, and C. I'm going to write this in the chat just so we don't forget. G, D, E minor, C. So G, D, E minor, and C. So, when we start talking about Nashville numbers, what does that mean? Well, the G, if you're in the key of whatever key you're in, the 1 is always the first chord. So the G is the 1. So if I said, you would have to know, you're in the key of G, and I said play the 1, you would play a G. If I said you're in the key of A, and I said play the 1, you'd play an A. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though. So G is the 1. If you count up G, A minor, so we're looking for a D. So G, A minor, B minor, C add 9, D. D is the 5. So if I said play a 5 in the key of G, you would play a D. And feel free to ask questions if this gets... Oh, I'm doing great, Carolee. Hanging in there with the quarantine and a bum knee. So we got 1 to 5, then E minor. We got to find that. What is that? G, A minor, B minor, C at 9, D, E minor 7. So that's a 6. Some people call that a 6 minor. To me, I always know that unless you say like a 6 major, I'm always going to think, if you say 6, I'm thinking E minor. I'm thinking 6 minor. So we've got 1, 5, 6, and then C is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I was to write that out, I'll write it out in the chat. We got 1, 5, 6, 4. Everybody with me so far? So this is any key now. So the cool thing about the number system is that I could say play 1, 5, 6, 4 in the key of C. And you don't have this on the screen yet, but I just kind of know this from years of doing this. In the key of C, 1, 5, 6, 4. That's a C, G, A minor, F. Awesome ketchup. Thanks for the spark, buddy. So, pretty simple, pretty basic so far, right? So if you're using this for songwriting, you want to start thinking in terms of numbers rather than chords. Because this, I've said all along that this is the G chord. But this, though it is a G chord, it's technically just the G shape. Because once I bring a capo in, say I put it on the 2nd fret, and I'm still playing this G shape, that's actually an A chord. And how do we know this? Well, if you look at these documents, they're all on our Discord. So if you go to discordapp.com, join it, and then go to creativets.org/live, you can join our Discord and download all the documents for all of our streams. So let's see here. Without the capo, and we play the G chord, we're playing this G, right? The 3rd fret, your middle finger is on the 3rd fret, and if you look at the bottom chord chart there with the guitar, and this chord chart is like if you have the guitar down in your lap and you're looking down in it. So it's a G, right? But if you put a capo on the 2nd fret and you play a G chord, you're now playing an A. Why is it an A? Because the root note, the bass, is an A. So now if I play 1, 5, 6, 4 in the key of A, but I can still use the G shape. So it's 1, 5, I'm going to move over a little bit. 1, 5, 6, 4. Still with me out there? So it doesn't get too much more complicated than that. So you can change, if you're writing a song and you only know a few chords on guitar, you can now change, just move the capo up and down and you can change the key to whatever you want it to be. If you want a capo 5, if you capo 5 and then you count up 3 and look at this diagram, 8th fret is a C. So now we're in the key of C. There we go. So in the key of C again, 1, 5, 6, 4. Big Vinny Mac, what's up, buddy? I need to get him doing one of these streams on here. So, is everybody with me so far? All we have done, G, D, E minor, C, is a 1, 5, 6, 4. But now instead of thinking this is a G chord, this is actually just a G shape. So the next thing I want to show you is, this is an actual chord chart with the Nashville Numbers from a studio session that we did. Switch what category? You switch it. Awesome Ketchup said switch the category to music. So this is what every studio session in Nashville we'll just look at and play. And this is actually a CreatiVets song. I can't remember which one because the title was cut off, but I kind of did that on purpose. I didn't want to, throw out somebody's song if they didn't want it up, so I didn't ask permission. But you see on here, this is a 1 5/7, which we haven't got into any inversions. That's called an inversion. And then a 6 minus. Again, I wouldn't even put the minus in. And then a 4. And actually, my buddy Eric Burgett, I always say Burgett, I don't know why. It's Eric Burgett. He said he's seen Nashville number charts taught in books like 3 different ways. So it's whatever, as long as you're getting the point across to the people playing the song, that's all that really matters. But for this, so 1 5/7 6 4. If we're in the key of G, that's going to be a G. Let's just forget about the over 7. It's 1 5 6 4. 5 6 4. That's what we just played. So you would have to know the tempo as well. But 1 5 6 4, and that IN is for intro, the V is for verse, C is for chorus, turn is for the turnaround. Then you get down to the BR, that's the bridge, and then chorus, and then outro. And I won't go through this whole song. I just want to give you this, just so you guys know. And again, you can download this on Discord. But now, if we go to different song keys. So again, I already talked about this. Every song key starts with a 1, then it has a 2 minor, a 3 minor, a 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, and then the 7 is a diminished chord, which again, you don't really need to learn those. I mean, you should learn them at some point, but not too many songs use them. And I say that, but like some of the most iconic songs ever do. For instance, this is 2 diminished. Friends in Low Places. So, I said how you can use this to go up and down the neck. For instance, and another good thing about if you learn how to like capo up and you want to lower the key, say you can't sing it in the original key. Say you want to sing like a Martina McBride song or something like that, and it's super high, and you have to hit like this note up here, and you can't do it. Well, with a capo, if you know it, you can just go down. Say down there. Or you can go down again. But once you get down to where you can't go down any farther, then you need to learn it in a different shape. So if this, say we're playing in G right now, then you would go back to this guitar chord chart, and now as long as you know the numbers, say it's 1 5 6 4, we'll play it in a C shape now. So again, it's still 1 5 6 4, but now we're going to be technically thinking in the key of C. So a 1 5 6 4 in the key of C is C, 1, 5 is G, 6 is A minor, 4 is F. And now you're up here playing the song that was just in the G shape, but now you're playing it in the C shape. We're still in the key of G though. I hope I'm not losing anybody. I've never really like explained this to anybody in before. Oh, thanks, Carolee. Big Vinny said he's in for this and a workout stream. We're going to hold you to that. So here we go. Now we're in the C shape. 1 5 6 4. And you guys may be thinking this looks a little weird because last week I taught the C add 9, the G, and then we're not playing the E minor right now, but we're playing A minor. And then we haven't got to an F. F is really tough because it's a bar chord. That's going to take you a while to get. But just for now, just go with me. I'm playing different. I will play different fingerings. Like for G, I won't always play this full G chord. Sometimes I'll just play, 2 2 fingers on it, and I'm muting. So we got G. And usually the chords dictate how I'm going to finger the next chord. So if I'm in C, it's super easy. This is actually a C over G. But again, not going to get into that. I'm usually probably just playing the bottom. I'm not even hitting this top note anyways. But then my finger's already right there for the G. So 1, 5, 6, 4 in C shapes. 1, 5, 6. And I won't always go to this full F bar chord. I can wrap my thumb around the top, play the bottom string, and I'm not, this is like, this bottom string is in it, so technically it's a F7 chord, but I just won't play the bottom string. I'll just kind of hit the top 4 or 5 strings. So, G, C, G, A minor, F. Remember that sound. Because if I remove the capo, can you guys hear how they're the exact same sound? Just I'm playing different chord shapes. Where are we at here? So I'll do it again real quick. So 1, 5, 6, 4. So now if you remember that, remember we were at this G and say we wanted to lower the key again. Well, we can't because I can't go down any farther. But if we capoed up and now we're in the C shape, oh, we're here. I can start lowering the capo again. So I can lower the key. So this is now a different key. This is, what is this? E flat. We'll go down to E. So E is capo 4 and play in a C shape. Does that kind of make sense? Any questions so far? So the real cool thing about this is, say you find a song on, you just find it online, you want to learn it, but it's got like, it's in a certain key where you don't know all the chord shapes. Well, if you transfer it to numbers first, then you can play it, you can find the key and find where to capo. So say it's in the key of A, and you don't really want to, let's do, we'll just keep going 1, 5, 6, 4 again. So in the key of A, that's 1, 5, 6, which is an F sharp minor against a bar chord to a D. So you're like 1, 5, 6, 4. So you're like, okay, well, how do I play that with the G shape? Well, you go back to, thanks Porsche 2 CTR, Porsche 2 center, 2, I don't know. I thought it might have spelled something, but Porsche 2 CTR. So we want to play A, but we want to play the G shape. So where is the A for the root note on this guitar chart? Well, it's the 5th fret. So then we count back 3 frets. And remember we said 1, 5, 6, 4? Thanks, Mr. 2. I need that coffee right now. Coffee cup. 1, 5, 6, 4. So again, I'm gonna, whoops, didn't want to do that. So if you look at this sheet, this has every key and every chord in every key pretty much known to man. If you look down here at C sharp is the same note as D flat. Oh, thanks for the panda, awesome ketchup. So C sharp and D flat. Let's find that here. So if you look at the A string on the 4th fret is a C sharp and a D flat. So it's the same note. So here it's technically the same key. But some people would say C sharp, some people would say D flat. If it's me and I'm thinking about it, I know that C sharp is a half step up because a sharp is a half up from a C. So I could just capo 1 and play C chords, or the C shape chords. But other people might, this is getting a little more advanced, some people down tune their strings a half step. And I actually do that too because it helps me. There's a lot of songs like that are just a half step down. And if I want to sing them out and like play acoustic shows and stuff, it's a lot easier than either having to sing them up a half step if they're already super high. So some people do that. So if I did that and somebody said D flat, I would probably down tune all my strings a half step and then think in the key of D. And then if it was 1, 5, 6, 4 in the key of D, would be 1, 5, 6, 4. Making sense to everybody? Awesome ketchup, you following me? I feel like I've tried to explain this to you before, but it's not too complicated once you have both of these charts. Like, I think you can figure it out. Next thing I just kind of want to talk about is just some common replacements for chords. If you're a songwriter out there, I guess let's go down to, I kind of want to keep the top up here though. Guess we'll just do that. And make it smaller. So on the sheet, it's got diatonic replacements, non-diatonic replacements. And all you need to know about diatonic means it's just in the same key. So there's certain notes in a key, which if you watch Eric Burgett's piano class, he talks about what notes and how to form a key. It's like, whole step, half step, or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to just think in basics though. Like I don't try to get too advanced. I try to simplify everything so that I can actually use it. Like this Nashville number system has saved me before. I had my buddy Martin McDaniel. One time he asked me, he's like, man, my guitar player can't play tonight. And he was playing at the Stage on Broadway. He's like, can you come down and play? And this was at like 2 p.m. And I'm like, sure, like, can we practice? Like, he's just like, no, you'll be fine. Just show up about 10 o'clock and we go on at 11. And I'm like, you kidding me? Like, I don't know half your songs. So I literally stood next to the bass player the entire night, and he was like, this is the song's in the key of whatever, and he'd be like 1, 5, 6, 4 or 4, 1, 6, 5 or whatever it was. And my head hurt so bad, but I was just trying to break it down. If he said, I was pretty much playing everything in either G shape or C shape because I know those keys the best. But that was a fun night. But here we go. So diatonic replacements. Say you have you're writing a song 1, 5, 6, 4, and you're like, I need some different chords, but I don't know what to play. Well, that one says a 1 can go to a 3 minor. So let's try that. 3 minor in the key of G is a B minor. So instead of doing 1, 5, 6, 4, we'll replace the G, the 1, with the 3 minor, which is the B minor. So 1, 5. Sounds pretty cool. Like you could hear some songs with that in it. What about 1 to a 6 minor? So instead of doing, let me type this out again. Instead of doing 1 5 6 4, we're gonna do 6 5 6 4. So 6 E minor, 5 6 4. And the cool thing about these numbers, like sometimes you can just kind of mix and match. Just write some numbers out and be like, okay, I'm gonna play this, and like, and you can get some really like interesting music that not like everybody in the world's gonna write. Like, I mean, so much of the songs out there right now are just 1 5 6 4, and they repeat it and they don't change it the entire song. They just put a loop on and let's write a song. You know, it's not 3 chords in the truth anymore. It's 4 chords in a loop. So some diatonic replacements. So any minor in the key can go to a major, or any major in the key can go to a minor. And a lot of people do this with the 4. They do a 4 minor. So they'll play like, if we're in C, we'll do a 1 5 4 4 minor. So a minor, you put the minus sign after it. So so this is going to be C, G, F, F minor. So just hear how this sounds and you'll be like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Now you probably wouldn't do that the entire song. That'd probably be at like a special moment in the song where you're gonna like hit like a cool chord that kind of like perks up the ear. So if the whole song was 1 5 4 4, and you're singing, or this is the outro or something, sounds nice. So that's just some stuff to play with. Some other big chords you're going to want to know is the flat 7. So most people would know this. If you look at, say we're in the key of D, and you look at a 7 chord, you're like C sharp diminished. Well, I don't know what that is, but a flat 7 would just be a C sharp. A flat of a C sharp is just a C. So it's a D to a C. And there's a lot of songs that go 1, I'm going to write 7 flat. It's a 4. So see if you know this song. So Sweet Home Alabama. A lot of songs use that like a... Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. So there's a lot of songs, flat 7. Sometimes if you're in like, if you're writing like a jazzy song, you might go, if you're an F to a 3 major to a 6 minor. So if we're an F and then 1 3 major, I do that with a 3 plus. And then they did a 6 6. We'll just see what that does. I actually went to the 4 there, so 6 4. But that's a song called "Turning Home" that David Nail cut. Kind of jazzy to do that. else we got? Borrow chords from the 3 flat key. And again, like all this is just kind of experimentation. Like the only thing that really matters is not to be like, oh, I'm so smart. Like I know all this stuff. Like I can substitute chords and stuff. It's to make, if you're writing a song, to make the song better, or if you're learning a song, to make the song easier to learn. Because I know if I'm learning a song and I know it's in the key of G, there's only so many chords that the next chord could be. And just by the more you like write out the numbers for songs and you learn it that way, the more it's going to become easier and easier to just be like, oh yeah, that's a 5. Like you'll start hearing, maybe you don't know what key the song is, but you can be like, that's a 1 to a 5 to a 4 to a 6. I do that in the car all the time, which is kind of why I had to stop listening to country music, because I was analyzing songs way too much. Like anytime something came on the radio, I was like, oh, that's a 1, that's a 5. I bet they go to the 6. And then sure enough, they go to the 6. Another thing that's cool is walking bass lines. So we haven't really got into this, and maybe this is like another stream, but inversions. So I'm trying to think of how to explain this without like a diagram. So every chord is made up of 3 notes. So a G chord, the reason this is a G, again, G-shaped G chord, is because it has 3 notes that give you this sound. If you play G, B, and D, every note I'm holding down or that I strum right here, if you look at the chord chart, if you look, so we got 3, we got G, B, D, G, D, G. So GBD. If you play a GBD on any instrument, is a G chord. If you play a GBD on piano, it's a G chord. Play it on the harp, you play it on the ukulele, it's a G chord, always. So, an inversion is not having this G note in the bottom. So if I remove my middle finger and I just play right here, well, what's that bottom note? That bottom note is a B. So this is a G over B. So G over B. If you didn't play that one, you play the next one up. That's our open D that we should know because we tune with it. That would be a G over D. So how does all this make sense? So I guess I could just, like, a real cool song is Baton Rouge by Garth Brooks does this a lot. So it's in the key of D, but it does like a walking, like, it goes D to A with a C sharp in the bass to a B minor to an A. So if you look at that, it's really just D, D, C sharp, B, A. But if you play with the chords, and then it goes. So you'll start kind of, once you start learning a little bit more advanced notes, you can do walking bass lines and stuff. So like an easy one to start learning that actually uses these chords would be if you go G, so if you're at a G chord, D, F sharp to E minor 7. Because you're walking down from G to F sharp to E. And again, to tie this all together, say you're like, I don't want to play in that key. I want to play, what is that, C? So again, Same chord shapes, but now I'm in the key of C. So that's pretty much all I got, unless there's any questions out there. I guess your homework would be to just take your favorite song, the one you're learning, and turn it into numbers. And then try to play it in a different, like capo up, and try to play it in a different key. Well, it'd be the same key, it'd just be a different shape. If you don't have any questions right now and you do later, hit me up on Instagram. It's Brett Fire. Find CreatiVets on Instagram, Facebook. You can chat in our Discord. Once again, we have a bunch of streams coming up. Let's see what we have next. So I'm at creativets.org/live. And the reason we started all this streaming is because due to coronavirus, we had to cancel all of our M. Morandi. My finger's too fat to play an original C right now. Well, so can you play a C add 9? Which is the G shape, but you just move these top two fingers down. Oh, Mrs. OEF5 is now hosting. Thank you so much. And Josh Ray said, what's an easy song to start learning for beginners? Well, I mean, the first song I learned was Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Because it's just G. Now let me get this off of there. All the chords are G, C add 9, and then E minor and D. I mean, it's got the in the. Though it's been a while now, still feel so much pain. But yeah, that's an easy one. You want to know the easiest song ever is "Neon Light" by Blake Shelton, because it is the D chord the entire song. But again, there's a lot of right hand that you need to kind of feel out. And sometimes I'll switch it up. I'll come up, play the D right here. Let's see, what else we got? The Boys Round Here by Blake Shelton is just A and D. I can't remember how it goes, but I know it's just A and D the whole time. There's also, what did I used to play? I used to play Gin and Juice was A and D. The way the was it like the Gourds? I think they played that. I would just any song that you like, I would, especially if it's like, if you like pop country today, every song, I bet you can find a way to play it G, D, E minor, C with a capo somehow. And yes, awesome catch up. Yeah, I love the D chord. I love the D. Where's our moderator at? So the F chord, yeah, it's super tough to play the full F chord. But what you can actually do is take the C chord, like the actual C chord, and move these two fingers down one. And then I guess you got a bar. Thanks for the Sparks catch up. So you can make this a little bit easier. So I'm holding down just these two bottom strings, and then this is a C chord, but it's down one. So I'm 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1. Yeah, just bar the bottom two with your index finger. Or you don't even have to bar that bottom one. If you can mute it, if you like get your hands on the strings and you just kind of bend your hand around a little bit, it'll mute this bottom one. And that's an F chord. That's an easy way to play an F chord. Or, if you don't want to play an F chord like that, you could get your capo, if you know your numbers, and play it in E. So the E shape, that's now an F chord, but I'm playing it in the E shape. So again, tying this all together, if you're playing, so in the key of F, again, one more time, 1, 5, 6, 4 is F. What's 5? Is C. 6 is D minor. 4 is B flat. So 1, 5, 6, 4. 5, 6, 4. But now I'm going to capo on 1 because this is still an F chord with the E shape. So in the E shape, I'm playing E, 1, 5, 6 is, well, that's going to be kind of hard too. We got a C sharp minor. So it'd be E, B, C sharp minor, A. Or capo 5 and play it in the C shape. So again, if you'll find an F, if you look at the guitar chord chart, the F note is on the 8th fret. So with the C shape, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4. Dang it, that's got the F in it again. Okay. What if we go D shape? So capo 3 and play a D. 1, 5, 6, 4. 1, 5 is A, 6, 4 is G. It's still got the bar chord of the B minor though. I think maybe I figured out one time if it's got one bar chord in it, there's no way to get around not playing a bar chord. I think that's kind of like the math I figured out. Like, well, I guess what else haven't we played? A, like the A shape, but you have to play that. Where's an F? That's an F. So now this is capo 8. Let's see if we can do it in A. So A is 1, 5. Yep, F sharp minor. Another bar chord. 1, 6, 4. Yeah, I think if it's got a bar chord, you're just gonna have to learn a bar chord. Or play the easy F. I guess yeah, it's right there. So 1, 5, 6, 4. All right, I went all over the map with that, but hopefully that kind of brings everything together that I've been talking about this whole past hour. Anybody else got any questions? And Van, thank you so much. So good. Again, you can watch these streams back if you go to creativevets.org/live. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. That's what I was checking earlier. What we have next. We've got Intro to Comics tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. with Garrett, our art director. Then we have Friday, we have Rick Beresford, who is he actually developed like the first Belmont class, and he helped develop all of the NSAI like song curriculum. So he's an amazing teacher. So tune in at noon on Friday to see him teach Intro to Songwriting. And then our buddy Tim Fagan is going to do a ukulele, at 2 p.m. on Friday. And then, of course, we've got all of our past streams up. We've done a bunch of stuff, acrylic art, ink drawings, shadow art. We do workouts on Friday. Actually, I wonder if Luke Pell is going to do another workout Friday morning. Maybe we'll get Big Vinny to do it too. He was on The Biggest Loser. He's in super good shape now. But yeah, well, if there's no other questions, I will sign off for tonight, and follow us on all the... Emily is doing a ceramic thing tomorrow morning. Okay. Wheel throwing. That sounds like fun. I like to throw like shot puts, but wheels are fun too. You flip them right in the parking lot. I don't know. Now wheel throwing is, I'm art dumb, so I don't know anything about art. I know a little bit about songwriting and playing a little bit of guitar and a little bit of piano, but when it comes to art, never got good at it. But wheel throwing, it's a wheel and you throw some clay. Think Ghost, right? Isn't that what they did on Ghost? Patrick Swayze. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Have a great night.